Did it work? Yes, we are recording now. All right, good. So moving over here to our lesson for today, the first thing we're going to talk about is the difference between habitat and niche. Okay, niche is basically how an organism lives. Habitat is just where. So niche is a big, huge category of stuff. A whole bunch of different things fall into the niche. Okay, like how much water and sunlight it needs, how much space it requires, the food what it feeds on and what feeds on it, the temperature and conditions, the different things it does for the environment, like when you were learning about keystone species within your notes, all that falls under niche. The idea of like mosquitoes eating blood. Okay, that falls into niche. Okay, all of those different things fall under its niche. Habitat is just where it lives, the plains of Africa, or the jungles in South America, or under my porch. Okay, whatever it is, the habitat is strictly where it lives. Niche is a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to ask you about your favorite animal. Not yet. Okay, but in a minute, I'm going to ask you about your favorite animal. Okay, so be thinking about your animal. You're going to give me its name. You're going to list 3 things about what it does, like koala bears eating eucalyptus trees. Okay, the termites in Africa building these giant termite mounds, or um, vultures eating dead stuff to clean up the world. Okay, whatever that is, that's all part of its niche. Okay, so think of your favorite animal and try to think about what it eats and what it may do as part of its living. There are these birds who do this crazy dance thing to get their girlfriends. Okay, they do this amazing dance. Well, that's part of their niche. Okay, habitat is just where they live. So you're going to be doing some of that in just a second. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. So think about your favorite animal. All right. Okay, so their habitat over here on this side with the light blue is just the place or the part of the ecosystem that's occupied by that organism. In the dark blue, the niche, it's the role of that organism within the environment or ecosystem. Okay, the light blue, habitat, is just a physical place. Niche is a function or an activity. Habitat reflects the living place of the organism. Niche, it reflects the biotic and abiotic association with the environment in terms of the diet, its reproduction, and all of its other activities. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to record this for you. You thinking about your animal? Okay. And if you can't think, I haven't done it yet, don't do anything yet. I'm going to copy the prompt across, and then you're going to put it in. But if you can't think of your favorite animal, I've got me a couple here: black bears, oak trees. Okay, because it's not just animals, it's plants. So it's your favorite organism. All right, so oak tree, dolphin, crow, blue jays, rattlesnakes, wolf, strawberry plants, wild hogs, rose bushes, sharks, crane, iguana lizard, moose, eagles, mouse, catfish, jaguar, turtle, kangaroo, jellyfish. Just think of some animal, okay, and think of how he lives in his world. Okay. All right, so let me put the chat in box, and you guys are almost ready to go. I'm going to give you a timer for 5 minutes, and this is a grade, a separate participation grade just for this answer. Okay, now I need you to, when you go to put it in there, I need you to use the 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm putting it in there. Number 1, list its name. Number 2, tell me 3 things about its niche, not just 3 things it eats. 3 things about its niche. You can tell me 1 thing it eats, but tell me 2 other things about them. And then the 3rd thing is list its habitat. Okay, think it through. If you need to Google a bit, you can, but you've only got 5 minutes. All righty, on your mark, get set, go. Think of your favorite animal. Okay, think of your favorite animal. Okay, but try to get it all together in one thing. Okay, Marquette? Everybody try to, and if you push enter, it automatically sends. But if you do shift enter, you can knock the line down without sending it. Guys, listen, I need you to number them and don't send the whole, I don't want just your animal. Yeah. Please try to send the 3 bits together in one post, okay? Send the 3 bits together in one post and number them. Okay. Use the shift enter to make a line without sending it. Hold shift down and then push enter. All right, because if you push enter, it's going to automatically send it. Trust me, that one bites me really often when I'm trying to do reminds. Everybody, I'm looking for something from you. If you need to Google it, you can. Let me let this one in. 12:01. Kevin, I've got something in the chat line for you to answer, buddy.
Sorry, I was having internet issues.
Okay.
Just by the way, I was gonna send it to remind, but it's not.
Okay, I didn't see the remind, but I've got you. There's a thing in the chat line for you. Thanks, buddy. Okay, try to get all three things together. You got 3.5 minutes left. There we go, Katrina. Good. Good, good. There we go. 3 things about them. Good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Guys, remember, don't give me just 3 things it eats. Give me 3 things about them. Okay, you can tell me what he eats, but that's only one thing. Carmen, try to get all 3 in the same post and then number them. Thank you, Lillian, for numbering them for me. It won't shift. The shift button doesn't work? Then just put them like in a row behind each other.
I'm gonna do it on my phone in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay, thanks, baby. Let me open up this other post because there may be some coming up because there's 2 different places where I can find these things. Let me go ahead and open this other one in case they wind up over there. Let's see. All right, good, good, good. All right, we're looking at 2.5 minutes. Okay, while you're doing that, guys, I'm checking your cameras. Mm-hmm. Good, good. Got about 2 minutes left. Give me some ideas about your favorite animal or just some animal you know a little bit about. Good, good. Mm-hmm. Okay, now in the niche, I needed 3 things about their niche. Remember, the niche has 3 parts. Number 2, it has 3 parts. 3 things about their niche. Good, good, good. Mm-hmm. 3 things about its niche. The name of your animal, number 1. 3 things about their niche, number 2. And the habitat, number 3. Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to pull up is the timer. All right. Getting there. Good, good. Some good answers, you guys. Very good answers. Y'all did a really good job. And this will be a separate participation grade since there's technically 5 things I'm looking for, right? You got the name of the animal first. Under the niche, you've got 3 things you were telling me about the niche, and then you have the habitat. So that's technically 5 things altogether I'll be looking for. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now you guys can keep these coming. That'll be fine. I'll actually check them once I turn you loose for your worksheet. Okay. You can keep them coming if you'd like, but let's move on ahead to once we've got the habitat versus niche down. Okay. Niche is how it lives. Habitat is just where. Once we've got that handled down and we are talking about their niche, within their niche, they can either be generalist or specialist. All right. And so generalist and specialist. The best example to get you started with is some human examples. The one they use in the book is the panda and the raccoon, and I'm going to come back to that in just a second. But some ideas about generalists and specialists. Let's think of human examples like doctors. A general practitioner okay, is the guy you go to when you're just randomly sick. Blood pressure is up, maybe diabetes, you might be pregnant, you might have broken arm, you might be having some trouble with your heart, you might have some rash or something you don't know about. You know, it could be any one of those things, and you would go to your general practitioner. Now, if it's something crazy serious, like once you've gone to your general practitioner and you're having some heart trouble, they may send you to a cardiologist. That's a specialist. But you would never go see the cardiologist if you're about to have a kid. You would never go see the cardiologist if you have a rash. You would never go see the cardiologist if you had a broken arm. The general practitioner can handle a whole bunch of different situations, but none of them are crazy super. If you have a crazy super detailed something, you're going to go to a specialist. But the specialist can only handle that one thing. All right, so you guys all looking? I'm not seeing Zoe, you're gone from your camera again, and your siblings acting crazy? Fountain, I don't see you.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, so Fountain, okay, Marcus, you with me? All right, good. All right. All right, so the idea of generalists versus specialists. The other human example I had was astrophysicist versus chemistry teacher, right? So the specialist is a lot more detailed, okay, and the generalist is more loose. Or the third one was Navy SEAL versus lieutenant. That's a big difference with what the specialist can do and what the generalist can do. Back into the animal world, the example they were giving you was raccoon versus panda. And of course, we call raccoons trash pandas when we're being silly, because raccoons will eat almost anything. All right, they can live almost anywhere. They can find themselves habitats. They can find themselves mate. They can do almost anything that they need in lots of different situations. Pandas can only eat 2 different types of bamboo. There's like 12 or 15 different types of bamboo. They can only eat 2 different types of bamboo. They will only live in those misty mountains. Okay, we learned that when we were trying to do zoo programs with them. A lot of times they couldn't live in the habitats we were trying to give them because they were so specific. Now, you did see in your notes, we did get some good news because we were working so hard with the pandas. We were able to move them from endangered into vulnerable. So that was really pretty awesome. But they are a specialist. They only want certain number, tiny little narrow niche. Okay, whereas the generalist, like the raccoon, has a very broad niche. They can live in many different places, eat a variety of foods, and tolerate a wide range of conditions. So the generalist, like the raccoon, the other examples are American crows, coyotes, house sparrows, white-tailed deers. Can you guys, this is the part for you guys, get on your mic. Can you guys think of another generalist species? Okay, the ones I gave you crow. These are the ones that can live anywhere and do anything. Crows, white-tailed deer, raccoons. A lot of times they are so good. Um, we don't need a hand up. Just give me a holler. Were you trying to get possums? Yes, definitely so. We also have think of some more that we may have that are so many of them that we might consider them a pest.
Squirrels.
Squirrels, yes. Squirrels are a good one. They can live anywhere. What else?
A cockroach.
Cockroaches, definitely. All right. Live
Raccoon?
anywhere. Huh?
Raccoons?
Raccoons, definitely. That's the one we're using in our book. Definitely, that's a good example. All right. Cockroaches, squirrels, rats and mice. Okay, that's another good example. All right, that can live anywhere. All right. So so those are the generalist species that we have. Now, let's think of specialist species. Okay, now they are crazy picky. They have like live in only one type of habitat and eat only a few types of food and tolerate certain number of conditions. If we use an example like for flowers, okay, some of you guys may not know what an orchid is. But an orchid is a flower that is so picky and so particular. It has to have the certain right type of soil. It has to have the right humidity. There are people who grow orchids. I mean, because otherwise, first off, it won't flower. And second off, very shortly, it will die. There are people who can grow orchids that are so proud of themselves. They make like entire rooms that they have the humidity and the temperature and the everything just perfect for these orchids to bloom. Compare that to a daisy. You plant one, it grows. All right, so the difference between specialists versus generalists is something like that. The specialists are so picky and they have their such specific needs that you wonder, well, why the heck, how the heck could you have evolved to be a specialist if you're going to be that picky? The thing about it is, okay, and at this point we were going to ask you, can you guys think of any other examples of specialists that are so picky that they have to have the exact right conditions or they're not going to make it? We had some trouble thinking of some. We've got the panda, we've got the orchid. We had some trouble. Didn't we guys think of one? I really wasn't able to think of one earlier.
Koala bears.
Koala bears, because they only eat that eucalyptus. Yeah, that's a good one. They only eat eucalyptus. All right, so the ones who are really picky like that. So we wonder then, what could be the benefit? Why would evolution have them become a specialist if they're going to have to be that picky? Because here's the thing. In their right environment, they are boss. Nobody can outcompete them. Nobody can do better than they can. Nobody will out-reproduce them. In their right environment, they are boss. The generalists, they live here on the outskirts. Okay, they can't do nothing in this environment. The trick is, if the environment's changing, the specialist is screwed, right? The generalist is going to take over. The generalist can say, the generalist will say, you know, it's warm one year, cold one year, dry one year, wet one year, snows one year, and doesn't snow the other 5. All right, so the generalist is the one who can adapt to a changing environment. That's the key. That's the key. When the environment is changing, the generalist will win out. If the environment is steady, the specialist has the upper hand because they can outcompete everybody else when they are suited to that environment. Think of mammoths and general elephants, regular elephants. Did you know that they existed at the same time? Mammoths and regular elephants existed at the same time, but the mammoths were so perfectly attuned to the ice age conditions that while the ice age was going on, they were the boss. The other ones were living on the outskirts because there was a lot less warm area at the time. The others were living on the outskirts. The mammoths were boss when it was ice age. They outcompeted, they out-reproduced. Nobody could beat them in their own environment. But then the environment changed. And then, of course, till we got in and started messing up all their habitats, the regular elephants were winning. Of course, then we stole all their jungle. Of course, you know, that's what we do. All right, so so because of the narrow niches that the specialists have, they are really prone to extinction if the environment changes. All right, so we want to know then, what we were asking is like, why would you even evolve that way? Because if the environment is stable, you're going to kick tail. You're going to be the one who wins, right? But it's only when the environment changes, which is what it's been doing lately because of us. Before we were in the picture, the environments were more stable. So let's look at this part of the notes right here with this graphic right here. It kind of helps us. Okay, so if you are a generalist, you are sort of prepared for a whole bunch of experiences. If you're a specialist, you're really well prepared for this 1 or 2 experiences. Do you see the difference there? All right, looking at the second one. Okay, if you are a generalist, all resources are limited for both of them. Resources are always limited. All right, so but if you're a generalist, the limited resources are spread about in a variety of options. Okay, if you're a generalist, the limited resources are all right here. Okay, the limited resources are all right here, united and consolidated. The third one right here with the generalist, you have a moderate chance of success in a whole bunch of different options and limited failure under many conditions. For the specialist, you have really high success right here in this area, but high failure everywhere else. Think about the numbers, reproduction numbers for that one, that third one. Think about the reproduction numbers. All right, so the generalist, I'm doing that third one again. The generalist are going to have a good reproduction number, okay, in many conditions. Limited failure in many conditions. The specialist is going to have really high success only right here. high failure everywhere else. And so the generalist then is going to be your best approach with an unknown future, and the specialist, if the future is certain and the environment is stable, the specialist is your best approach. All right, so let's do this class call out. We're going to hit the mics one more time. If the specialists are in greater danger of extinction, why would they have evolved in the first place? If the specialists are in greater danger of extinction, why would they have evolved in the first place?
They don't have the same risks. They didn't have the same risks as they did then as they do now.
Right. When they first evolved, they didn't have as many risks, and they were able to be boss in their environment. Good. It's only now that we're in the picture that they've got so many more risks. Good. Very good answer. All right, so let's go over the details of what we learned today before I turn you loose on that worksheet. So niche, of course, is the role of the species that species play in an ecosystem, and that everything that affects the survival and reproduction. The habitat is just the geographic location. All right, species can be either generalist with broad niches or specialist with narrow. The generalist with the broad can eat a wide variety of foods, can live in a wide range of environments, and there's a lot more resource competition, but they have a lot more options, so they're less prone to extinction. The specialists have very specialized diets. They live in only a few types of habitats. Within their spot, there's a lot less competition, but they're more prone to extinction because they've only got that one spot. All right. Any questions about how that's going? You good with that? Let's take a look at our worksheet. Okay, this worksheet is what you'll be spending for the rest of the class period. It's due tomorrow. Let me pull up the what am I calling the late grade stuff. Where's it at? Is it? Hang on. I'm trying to pull this up for you. Things are going crazy on my computer. Pull up the Tuesday. There it is. It should be at the bottom. Yeah. It's crazy why I couldn't find it. All right, so let's pull up the late grade stuff. Some of you guys already have it in. That's pretty awesome. All right, so there's only 6 questions, so they're 15 points apiece. It's due tomorrow, and the breakdown is here. Okay, not accepted after the 26th. So you should be able to answer these questions based on what we've talked about for today. All right, these are some birds here, all specialists. All of these birds are specialists. And so we want to know, how can you have this many birds living in one place? All right, we'll talk. That's one of the things you're going to be answering there. Okay, it has a lot to do with the fact that they are specialists. So check it out. Do you have any questions? And I'm going to turn my mic off, and I'll check your cameras and check your the animal responses while you guys work on that. Any questions for me? All right, well, I'm going to turn the recording off too. Let's see. Stop recording.